So the Vancouver Canucks are yet to win a Stanley Cup. I'm going to take over as GM, and I'm going to win this team a Stanley Cup in 3 years. Let's get straight into it. So I'm going to trade Oliver Ekman-Larsson back to Arizona for a second and a third. I want to get his contract off the books, and I know I can get a better defenseman than him. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to package up the second and third I got from Arizona, along with a prospect for Colton Parayko. And then I'm making another trade with St. Louis, where I'm sending a second, Hamonic, Dickinson, and a third for Kyrou and Thomas. With those trades done, it's time to extend some contracts. Brock Besser, I'm going to give you $7.5 million per year for 6 years, and Rathbone, I'm going to give you $1.35 million per year for 3 years. So with the additions of this team, Kyrou is going to be playing second line right winger, Thomas is going to be our third line center, and Parayko, you're going to be on the second line defense. So I'm going to go ahead and simulate 10 games into the season, and we'll see how this team's doing. It was a great start to the season, as the Vancouver Canucks are currently 7-1-2. Over the next 15 though, we would struggle. We're sitting at a 12-10-3 record, but over the last 15, we went 5-9-1. Definitely could be better. Over 50 games, this team's looking not too bad though. We got a 26-18-6 record. We're sitting third in the Pacific and 9th in the entire league. Quinn Hughes is currently leading the team in points with 10 goals and 28 assists for 38 points. Elias Pettersson's coming in second with 14 goals and 23 helpers for 37 points, and Jordan Kyrou is going to round out the top 3 with 8 goals and 28 helpers for 36 points. Quinn Hughes is currently leading the defenseman, but we already know what his stats are. And Thatcher Demko, you're looking pretty solid. 20 wins with a .910 save percentage and a .279 goals against. Now I'm going to go ahead and simulate to the trade deadline. I think I'm going to be a seller this season because I don't think this team can win, and I definitely want to prepare for next season and the season after. So over the next 13 games heading into the trade deadline, we were terrible with a 3-8-2 record, so moves need to be made. I'm going to package up Myers, Wu for Rosen, and a fourth. And then after trading for Rosen, I'm going to sign him to a $900K deal for 3 years. So I'm going to go ahead and simulate to the end of the season. Ideally, we suck from here on out and get the first overall pick, but I don't think that's going to happen, and I do think we're going to make the playoffs. When the season came to an end, we finished 4th in the Pacific with a 42-32-8 record, which is good enough for 15th overall in the entire league. Elias Pettersson's leading the team with 27 goals and 49 helpers for 76 points. Brock Besser's coming in second with 33 goals and 29 helpers for 62 points, and Quinn Hughes is going to round out the top 3 with 12 goals and 49 helpers for 61 points. And Quinn Hughes is also leading the defense, but we already knew that. Thatcher Demko, he's going to pick up 34 wins with a .911 save percentage and a .277 goals against. Leon Draisaitl is going to lead the entire league in points with 37 goals and 57 helpers for 94 points. Ryan O'Reilly's coming in second with 32 goals and 61 assists for 93 points, and Alexander Ovechkin, he's casually picking up 61 goals. Yeah, you heard that right. Alexander Ovechkin, 61 goals, 30 helpers, 91 points. Yeah, this guy's dialed in. Roman Jossi's going to lead all defensemen in points with 22 goals and 49 assists for 71 points, and Darcy Kemper's going to lead all goaltenders in wins with 44, while picking up a .916 save percentage and a .241 goals against. In the first round, the Vancouver Canucks are going to be taking on the Edmonton Oilers. We know this team doesn't have any goaltending, so this should be an easy series for us. Edmonton's not putting up any fight in Game 1 as Vancouver's coming out on top in a 5-1 win. Vancouver continues to roll in Game 2, winning 3-0 with Thatcher Demko picking up a shutout. In a tough Game 3, Vancouver's going to come out on top once again, and they got a 3-0 series lead. There's no way they'd blow this, right? Okay, lost Game 4, we weren't bound to win every game. Alright, we lost Game 5. Not too concerned, they would have to win 4 straight, that's not going to happen. Alright, we're heading into Game 7. What are you boys doing? And just like that, we blew a 3-0 series lead to the Edmonton Oilers. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's real tough. Colorado's going on to win the Stanley Cup, but I still can't get past the fact that we blew a 3-0 series lead to the Edmonton Oilers out of all teams. Looking at the draft lottery results, Nashville's going to jump from 7-1, and they're going to get the chance to draft Shane Wright. We're going to have 7 picks in this draft, and our 2 best players are going to be a low elite potential center and a low elite potential right winger. So I'm going to go ahead and sign all the important rookies here, and there really isn't anyone we need to re-sign. Entering free agency, there's only going to be 2 signings that we're doing. We're going to pick up Keith Yandel for $5.6 million per year for 1 year, and then Mark Giordano for $5.9 million per year for 1 year. And for extensions, we're going to give Bo Horvat $6.5 million per year for 3 years. Jordan Kyrou's getting $4.8 million per year for 3 years. Niels Höglander going to get $3.5 million per year for 2 years, and Julesen's getting $900K for 2 years. And I do want to make one trade before the season starts, so I'm going to trade Garland and a prospect for Bunting, Hall, and James Neal. Really, I just wanted to get rid of Garland's contract because I don't want to pay $4 million for a 4th liner. So looking at this team, the forward core continues to develop. Our defense is definitely looking stronger, and the goaltending, it's up in the air. I have questions about our duo here. So now I'm going to make a trade that doesn't seem to make any sense. I'm going to trade our 3rd rounder to Ottawa for our 3rd rounder for this year, but there's a reason I'm doing this. So now I'm going to sign Rasmus Sedin to a $4.8 million per year deal for 3 years. And he's an RFA, so I have to give up our first round pick this season and our third round pick this season. So when I swapped third round picks with Ottawa, I was getting my third for this season back. And with that move, I no longer need Keith Yandel, so I'm going to send him to the New York Rangers for a second and a third. And now that I have a bit more cap space with Connor Garland off the books, I'm going to extend Thomas for $3.1 million per year for 2 years. So now I'm going to go ahead and simulate 10 games into the season and see how this team does. Through the first 10 games, things are looking terrible. We're 2-6-2. That's definitely not what I was hoping for. But over the next 15, we were slightly better. We went 7-6-2, so we're currently sitting at a 9-12-4 record. So I looked at Thatcher Demko's stats. He was terrible. So I'm going to package him up with a second and a prospect so we can get Spencer Knight. I'm also going to get Gudas and Aston Reese in the deal, but all I care about is Spencer Knight. And then after trading for Knight, I'm going to extend him for $2.5 million per year for 2 years. So I'm going to go ahead and simulate to the 50 game mark, and hopefully Spencer Knight can carry this team. So through 50 games, given what this team looked like at the beginning of the year, we're not too bad. 24-18-9, we're 4th in the Pacific and 12th overall in the entire league. Currently, Elias Pettersson is leading the team in points with 16 goals and 28 helpers for 44 points. Brock Besser is second on the team in points with 18 goals and 25 helpers for 43 points, and Bo Horvat's going to round out the top 3 with 12 goals and 29 assists for 41 points. Quinn Hughes is leading the defense with 6 goals and 23 helpers for 29 points. And since being acquired, Spencer Knight has 12 wins with a .912 save percentage and a .272 goals against. So it's time to simulate to the trade deadline. I don't think we can win this season. I think we have to worry about next year. I just don't think we're there yet, and I don't want to go all in. Over the next 11 games, we went 5-5-1, which basically certified the fact that we can't win now. So I'm going to trade away Giordano for a second and a third, and then James Neal for a fourth and a seventh. So I'm going to go ahead and simulate to the end of the year. I'm pretty sure we're still going to make the playoffs. If we don't, then we completely fell off. So to finish out the year, the Vancouver Canucks are finishing with a 41-31-10 record, which is good enough for 4th in the Pacific and 14th in the entire league. Bo Horvat led the team in points with 28 goals and 44 helpers for 72 points. Elias Pettersson finished with 25 goals and 44 assists for 69 points, and Brock Besser picked up 28 goals and 38 assists for 66 points. Quinn Hughes led the defense with 7 goals and 44 assists for 51 points, and Spencer Knight picked up 21 wins with a .909 save percentage and a .271 goals against. Leading the entire league in points is Alexander Ovechkin with 64 goals. Yeah, this man's dialed in. 2 straight years where he's had over 60 goals. Leon Draisaitl is coming in second with 50 goals and 49 helpers for 99 points, and Patrick Kane's finishing with 44 goals and 53 assists for 97 points. Tyson Barrie is going to lead all defensemen in points with 12 goals and 67 assists for 79 points, and Andrei Vasilevsky is going to lead all goaltenders in wins with 45 while having a .920 save percentage and a .242 goals against. In the playoffs, the Vancouver Canucks are going to be matching up against the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Game 1 was an absolute slaughter with Vegas beating us 8-2, but we would bounce back in Game 2 winning 3-2. However, just like we did in Game 2, Vegas is bouncing back in Game 3 and they're winning 6-2. Game 4 was a close one, but Vegas is coming out on top 3-2, and in Game 5, we're going to be eliminated as Vegas is winning 6-5. When the playoffs came to an end, the Toronto Maple Leafs are coming out on top as Stanley Cup champions. Looking at the draft lottery results, Arizona is going to jump to number 1, and they're going to get the chance to draft Connor Bedard. So we didn't have too many picks in the draft, we only had 5, but 2 of them had elite potential. The first being a medium elite potential goalie, and the other being a low elite potential right winger. So entering the re-sign phase, Hall's the only one I want to re-sign, so $2.7 million per year for 2 years, and then I'm going to sign all the important rookies. Entering free agency, there's moves that need to be made. Tristan Jarry, $1.8 million per year for 2 years, you're going to be a solid backup for us. Ryan Graves, $4.6 million per year for 3 years. Jensen, $2.7 million per year for 2 years, and Tarasenko, $8.9 million per year for 1 year. And then I'm going to trade Kyrou, our medium elite potential goalie, Rathbone in a third, to Dallas for Jason Robertson and an extra player. So looking at this team, we have the potential to be really good. Our defense seems okay, and Spencer Knight continued to improve. He's up to a 90 overall, so I'm expecting big things from him. So I'm going to go ahead and simulate 10 games into the year, and let's hope this team can play to their potential. So through the first 10 games, we were just above average with a 6-4 record. But over the next 15, we are much better with a 9-5-1 record. So currently we're sitting with a 15-9-1 record. Through 50 games, things aren't looking too good. We're 27-21-2, 6th in the division and 13th in the entire league. We got to step it up. Brock Besser is currently leading the team at points with 26 goals and 19 helpers for 45 points. Bo Horvat's coming in second with 9 goals and 32 helpers for 41 points, and Patterson's going to round out the top 3 with 15 goals and 25 helpers for 40 points. Quinn Hughes is leading all defensemen in points with 10 goals and 28 8 assists for 38 points. And Spencer Knight, you've been okay this season. 23 wins, a 906 save percentage, and a 287 goals against. So I think we got to make moves here. Baranko and Bowie, I'm going to ship you off to Chicago for Chris Letang, and then I'm going to package up Rosen, Nichols, Jensen, Pearson, and a first for Elias Lindholm, and a bunch of extra players, but all we care about is Lindholm. So we need someone to step up here. Hopefully Lindholm can spark the offense, and maybe Chris Letang can even spark the defense, because we got to improve if we want to make the playoffs. So we're sitting at a 34-25-2 record heading into the trade deadline, and some moves need to be made. So I'm going to ship out Tarasenko and 2 prospects for Rupe Hintz and a few extra players, and then I'm going to send a prospect to Minnesota for Ryan Hartman, and then I'm going to package up a second and a bunch of extra players to Columbus for Colin Miller and a bunch of extra players. When I refer to them as extra players, I just mean like a bunch of guys to get the deal done. So like Columbus might be over 45 players, so I need to take a bunch of like AHL guys. Basically extras are guys that aren't helping us right now. So I'm going to go ahead and simulate to the end of the season, and we got to make the playoffs. This can't be all for nothing. So Vancouver finished the season out strong, finishing with a 45-33-4 record. They got 5th in the Pacific and 11th in the entire league. Brock Besser led the team in points with 37 goals and 37 helpers for 74 points. Elias Pettersson's coming in second with 24 goals and 46 assists for 70 points. And Bo Horvat's going to round out the top 3 with 20 goals and 46 assists for 66 points. Quinn Hughes once again led the defense with 14 goals and 43 helpers for 57 points. And Spencer Knight picked up 36 wins with a 908 save percentage and a 282 goals against. Leading the entire league in points is going to be Nathan McKinnon with 47 goals and 55 helpers for 102 points. Patty Kane's coming in second with 43 goals and 59 helpers for 102 points. And Alexander Ovechkin is casually picking up 63 goals for the 3rd year in a row. Yeah, he's the greatest goal scorer of all time. That's no longer up for debate. Oliver Ekman-Larsson is going to lead all defense in points. You heard that right. OEL's picking up 6 goals and 65 assists for 71 points. Maybe I shouldn't have traded him away. And Shesterkin's going to lead all goaltenders in wins with 44 while having a 907 save percentage and a 276 goals against. And for the 2nd year in a row, we're going to be taking on the Vegas Golden Knights in the 1st round, but we're here for revenge. Vancouver's coming out strong in game 1, taking them down 6-1, and game 2, Spencer Knight was dialed in as he's picking up a shutout. Vegas bounced back in game 3 as they picked up a shutout of their own in a 3-0 win. Game 4 was a tough one, but Vegas is coming out on top in a 2-1 win. Game 5 is where we bounce back and we're going to win 3-1. But game 6, Vegas is bouncing back 3-2, and we're headed to game 7. And in game 7, when it mattered most, Vancouver's coming out on top in a 6-2 win. And in the 2nd round, we're taking on the Oilers. It's time to get some revenge. Game 1, Vancouver's coming out hot, winning 4-2. But Edmonton was looking to even the series, and that's what they did in a game 2 win. Vancouver's looking to build some momentum, so they're going to take game 3 in a 2-3 win, and the same in game 4 with another 2-3 win. But Edmonton's going to destroy all momentum as they're taking game 5 8-0. Luckily, Vancouver win allowed them to capitalize on that momentum, and we're taking them down in game 6 2-1. So we've reached the conference finals, and now we're going to be taking on the St. Louis Blues. Game 1 was all St. Louis as they're taking us down 3-0. Vancouver's going to battle in game 2, and they're going to take a close one 5-4. In game 3, St. Louis is coming out on top with another shutout, and then in game 4, they're pushing Vancouver to the brink of elimination. But Vancouver's been on the other side of this, so they've dialed in, and they're ready to go. They're going to take game 5 4-3, and then they're going to take game 6 2-1. And in game 7 of overtime, Ryan Graves is going to score, winning the game, and we're off to the Stanley Cup final. So here we are, the Stanley Cup final, year 3. We're taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's time to finish this. Vancouver's going to come out strong in game 1, and they're going to take it 3-1. But Columbus doesn't want to give us that 2-0 advantage, so they're going to even up the series in game 2. Columbus is going to take game 3 in another 3-1 victory, and then they're going to do the same in game 4, winning 3-1 as well. And then in game 5, it's over. It's all over. Columbus is coming out on top 6-4, and they're Stanley Cup champions. We were so close. That's a tough one to swallow.